blackfacts.com presents LGBTQ Pioneers. Miss Major Griffin Gracy. Miss Major Griffin Gracy is a radical icon, a relentless activist, and formidable leader in the fight for equity and human rights for transgender women of color and gender nonconforming people. Born in the South Side of Chicago in 1940, Miss Major has dedicated over 40 years of her life to the struggle for freedom and civil rights for the transgender community. Growing up in Chicago, she became involved early on with the local drag balls and came out in her teens without having the language to describe being trans. She moved to New York City when her family kicked her out and tried to make a place for herself in the queer community there. She, along with revolutionaries Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, were leaders of the Stonewall riots of 1969 in New York City. She joined in with the ensuing riots, was knocked unconscious by the police, and awoke the next morning in jail. She would return to prison in the early 70s, where, placed with the men, she met leaders of the recent Attica riots who would greatly influence her later work with the prison system. Despite the chronic attempt to whitewash and heteronormalize the Stonewall riots, she continues to say the names and uplift the work of Marsha, Sylvia, and other Black and brown transgender women who have continued to be on the front lines for justice. Miss Major also worked as an HIV/AIDS treatment advocate and aided communities that were disproportionately impacted and neglected during the height of the HIV/AIDS crisis. In 2003, she joined the Transgender Gender Variant Intersex Justice Project before becoming its executive director. She has spent her life looking out for the queer community, particularly trans women of color in the prison system, and has earned a reputation as a pioneer and adopted mother to many in the queer community. Learn more at blackfacts.com.